Wait before you just go to the main part. Hi, hello guys, this is Medbits, your exam savior, and today we'll be discussing about CNS Intro Physiology. So let's begin. Now, before beginning, make sure that you have a notebook with you so that it will be easier for you to understand. As you can see here, the image that you have to divide and write it up. So yeah, let's begin. So as you can see here, the nervous system are of two types, which is the central nervous system, which as we say CNS, right? And then comes is the PNS, which is the peripheral nervous system, right? The central nervous system consists of the brain and the spinal cord, right? So the peripheral nervous system is the branching nervous system, which is coming from the spinal cord, right? Yeah. So now, so in somatic nervous system, in this condition, now we use this as in a daily basis. I'll say you how. Let's say our skeletal muscle, right? Now that is a somatic nervous system. Now we use it every day. Now this is in our control, right? So these are voluntary control, so it comes in somatic nervous system. And next one is coming is autonomic nervous system. The name itself says it, right? So autonomic nervous system in this condition, let's say it is involuntary, right? As I've said, and mainly as we know, heart and other organs which doesn't need our permission to work on, right? It works automatically, aram se. Now coming with the next one is parasympathetic nervous system, which is under autonomic nervous system. Okay, so parasympathetic nervous system means it is included in rest and digest. This mainly works in that time. Now sympathetic nervous system, now this is an interesting one. Now let's say that you're in a road and you suddenly see a stray dog who is looking at you, and you know that, and now the dog is coming at you, it's approaching at you. Now you started run, right? So suddenly the blood and all will be flushing to the muscles so that you can actually survive from that dog's bite, right? Yeah, so the body will be putting all, like it is in the danger situations, and like that it's like flight or flee, that's it. So as we have said, the central nervous system is responsible for integrating sensory information and responding accordingly. So CNS consists of two main components as said before, right? The brain and the spinal cord. The brain, which is responsible for integrating most sensory information and coordinating body function, both consciously and unconsciously. Okay, so complex functions such as thinking and feeling as well as regulation of homeostasis are attributable to different parts of the brain. Now coming with the next one is the spinal cord, where it serves as a conduit for signals between the brain and the rest of the body. It also controls simple musculoskeletal reflexes without input from the brain. Now that's how it is. Let's go with the next one. Now as you see both the images, now the first one which I am pointing right here right now is the peripheral one, right? Where it is a branches from the spinal cord and which is spreading all over our limbs, right? All over the organs so that it can deliver the message and it can do the actions as it is set from the brain, right? As we know it. So as you can see in the image, so that will be it. There is nothing much to say more about it. And here's the central nervous system, where this is the brain and this is the spinal cord, where the spinal cord is giving branches, and yeah, that will be it. Now let's discuss about the protection of CNS. Coming with the first one is axial skeleton. Living nervous tissue has the consistency of jelly and requires special protection from physical damage, right? The entire CNS is encased in bone. The brain is within the cranium while the spinal cord runs within a canal through the vertebrae. Right now, that's how the spinal cord is being there. Okay. Coming with the second one is cerebrospinal fluid. Now, within its bony case, the entire CNS is bathed in cerebrospinal fluid. Now, that's how his brain is actually staying in a consistency. It's floating in the skull, right? So, let's continue. A colorless fluid produced by special structures in the brain. Now, CSF provides a special chemical environment for nervous tissue as well as an additional buffer against physical damage. Now the third one coming here is blood-brain barrier and meninges. The brain and spinal cord is also surrounded by protective three-layer tough connective tissue membrane called the meninges. It provides further defense against physical injury. Another protective element is called blood-brain barrier. As the name suggests, this is a barrier between the brain's blood vessels, as you can see capillaries, and the cells and other components that makes up brain tissue. Whereas the skull meninges and cerebrospinal fluid protect against physical damage. The blood-brain barrier provides a defense against disease-causing pathogens and toxins that may be present in our blood. That's all it will be. Types of tissue in the CNS. Now there are of two types. The first one is gray matter, which consists of nerve cell bodies, dendrites and axons. Neurons in gray matter organize either in layers as in cerebral cortex or as clusters called nuclei. Now second one is white matter, consists of mostly of axons, causing it to look white due to myelin sheathing of the axons. Now as you see here, these are the segments of the brain which is important in viva and the practical too. Mainly in anatomy you will have to know this because you may get a specimen and they will say that to explain this, say the parts, what is sulci gyri, so that is another video for another time. So yeah, so as you can see the parts here, just pause and read them so that you will have an idea. So that will be it. Okay. Now as you have seen the image before and noted the segments of the brain, now let's discuss about the segments of the brain part by part. Okay. So the first one here is medulla oblongata. Now appears as a swelling at the upper end of the spinal cord, besides being a conduit for fibers running between the spinal cord and higher regions of the brain. It contains control centers for involuntary functions such as blood pressure, breathing, swallowing and vomiting. Next one is pons and cerebellum. The pons relays information between higher regions of the brain and the cerebellum, which processes sensory information and help coordinate movement. Now the next one is the midbrain, primarily responsible for eye movement. Now before continuing, if you have any doubts, make sure that you rewind and hear the video again. Just go 10 to 20 seconds back and hear them again, read them again, so it will be good enough. So let's continue. Thalamus processes and integrates all sensory information going to the higher regions of the brain. Next one is hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is critical for homeostasis, the maintenance of the body's internal environment. It influences nervous control of all internal organs and also serves as master regulator of endocrine function by its control over the pituitary gland. Now that's why the pituitary gland is known as a master gland, which provides hormones to many of the parts of our body which needs it. So pituitary gland is also something important that you have to learn it separate. Yep. Now coming with the next one is cerebrum. It is the highest region of the brain which includes both the cerebral cortex that is visible on the outside of the brain as well as other internal structures. The cerebrum is responsible for conscious sensation and voluntary movement, right? Cerebrum is that important, as well as advanced functions such as thinking, learning and emotion. So guys, in part 2 we'll be discussing about what is neuron, axon, dendrite and soma, as we have heard in 10th and 12th and we have drawn it many times, right? so that image will never go from our brain. So yeah, so we'll be discussing about them on the next video. So seems like you have reached the end of the video, and yeah, good luck on your exams, and yep, I'm sure that you're going to do really good. So yeah, this is a base video and you all have to know it, so it will give you a better idea on what you're learning, what you're going to step into about CNS. Okay, so don't think this is a not useful video or anything. It is useful to an extent, so it'll help you. So yeah, we'll see you in next video.